All eyes on the way I vibe when I walk into the room. Wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes. I got the attention, I'm on a mission. No sweat in the way I step, I got a fresh new attitude. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. New look, got the ladies shook. New watch saying it's my time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now.
You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-love, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey, the journey of self-love, the journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey. Stay the course. Make sure you stay on the journey. Welcome to not only another episode of Men's Superpower Live, but also the first 2021 live show of Men's Superpower. Today is the 10th, January 2021. It's been one hell of a ride in 2020, but we're here and we are back at it again. It's late for where I live in EST time, but like somebody has said, it's always morning somewhere. It's always AM somewhere else. And so my viewers from Europe, Africa are about to get up, or they are getting up. And so when I do get the opportunity to do a show live late, then that's the crowd that I end up interacting with. And so here we are tonight. our topic tonight is very important for men and really for the world at large. Dang. Because really for the world at large, because unless a man learn self-mastery, he is doomed to repeating his own mistakes, as well as the world getting the worst of him every time. And so self-mastery, I have discovered, is possible only on semen retention. I'm not going to lie to you. Man, before semen retention, I used to be heavily involved. I used to be an astute student of self-development. I used to be a self-development junkie, and I still am to a certain extent, but semen retention has greatly aided that. It has, there we go. It has revolutionized self-development in me. Bro, I'm telling you, on semen retention, you don't have to read lots of books, go to a lot of seminars, processing a lot of positive thinking to enter a new state of mind. Literally just holding the energy a few more days can bring you into a new state of consciousness without the conscious effort of learning on your part. I hope that makes sense to somebody. It's a hard road of semen retention, trying to make growth happen in yourself. Because now you have to listen to everything that's being said out there, that's being prescribed. And for example, so let's say the simple, well, not so simple habit of getting up and getting going. Off semen retention, you have to learn the techniques, prepare yourself, setting an alarm, waking up, getting yourself in that state to get going, right? It's a lot of exhaustive mental effort. But on semen retention, all of that is taken care of by itself. Yes, you just go to sleep, fall asleep, wake up, and your whole system just keeps going. Your whole system knows you need to do things, you get things done without that exhaustive, energy depleting, conscious effort. I hope you understand what I'm saying, right? Because semen retention literally transports you to a different consciousness. And the new consciousness, whatever riches are in the new consciousness, that's what you do. That's what you benefit from. That's what you operate on. You know, our brain uses about 15% of our body's overall energy supply. 15%. That's a lot. And so, a lot of what we call tiredness, exhaustion, is really mental exhaustion. Because the brain is always ruminating, always using energy to process, well, really in this day and age, garbage. And part of that garbage is self-development junk. In the self-development world of semen retention, self-discipline is an elusive thing. You can't quite get your hands or your fingers all on self-discipline of semen retention. You can't quite get your hands on it. It's elusive because it requires a lot of your mental effort. Where semen retention takes care of that. Once your brain is sublimated, once your brain is being fed that new energy, and plus the minerals, the vitamins that make your body more dynamic, all of a sudden you're more elevated. And in that state, you enter a new consciousness. And in that new consciousness, things happen effortlessly. And I've said this a couple of lives back, must have been, 4 or 5 lives back, that really right now, the number one benefit of semen retention for me, after so many years, now remember, it's not so many years straight, it has been different variations. But the practice itself, I've started in 2016. The greatest benefit right now, and of course, let me give a disclaimer. When you first start, you're going to experience different benefits and you're going to value certain benefits more than others based on where you are. Like right now, several years later, what I value may not be what you value the most and may not be what you, quite frankly, what you should value. Right now, if you're just starting out, maybe you should value just having the energy to be present, just being able to smile more, just being able to be positive. God damn it. You understand? Just having the energy in your body to get up, just having your sleep reduced, perhaps, are some of the greatest benefits for you right there, right now. But for me, I already have all of these, right? The latest, most prized, most loved benefit for me on this journey is the state of flow. All right, I was looking for my flow book. It's all over there. It's the state of flow. I'm going to tell you what happens in the state of flow. Hope you're ready for it, right? In flow state, you don't stop and take time to consciously think and consider and process a new experience. Which means you don't take time to compartmentalize and sectionize. Is that a good verb? Sectionize? Well, compartmentalize and separate your experiences. That takes a lot of mental energy. And that takes a lot of, that's why we are exhausted a lot of time. In flow state, the outgoing experience plus the incoming experience are intertwined seamlessly. Seamlessly for you. Kadaba. And it's just delivered to your consciousness as something to just merge into, something to move into next. And last time I spoke about this, one of the examples that I used was a DJ, an amateur and professional DJ, right? An amateur DJ is playing songs one after the other. And there may be a few seconds between songs, right? A few seconds of wait, of pause. But a professional DJ, you know what they do, right? It literally feels like, well, like right now, I still play DJ, what do they call them? Not playlists, but whatever they do. For an hour and a half, it feels like it's one song for 1 hour and a half, right? So a professional DJ is going to match the BPM, the beat per minute, the speed of the last song with the speed of the incoming song. And sometimes they've already done that before ahead of time while they prepare for it, or sometimes they can do it on the fly. They can slow the outgoing song at the end, slow it down to match the speed of the incoming song. And then the beats match, the BPMs end up matching, and when the new song comes in, you ain't gotta take time to adjust to the new song. I hope that makes sense to you. This is good. This is good. You don't have to take time to adjust your pace or your speed or your dance to the new song, because while the DJ was either slowing the outgoing song or speeding it up, you already got into the groove, and when the other one starts coming with it with matching BPMs, you're still in the groove. But sometimes we're like, whoa, great, you go. Yeah, that's state of flow. That's flow state. In your day-to-day activities, you don't take time to process. For example, okay, so what time should I go to the gym? Okay, so I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna leave after 2 hours. Then I'm gonna stop for lunch, and I don't do that. I get up in the flow. If I have some work to do, I sit down and do the work, or go to the gym, leave the gym, get something to eat, jump on coaching calls, do something else, and time is going by, and I'm flowing from one activity to the next. A phone call comes in, take it, reply to a text message, reply to an email, just keep going. It's flowing. Much like a river, it's flowing effortlessly without stopping to think and to consider. Now, stopping to think and to consider has its value depending on the state of consciousness you're in. Because remember that you have to work yourself into this state of consciousness I'm talking about. So if you're just starting out, or you're off semen retention, you're not even on this journey, stopping and thinking and considering has tremendous value for you. But right now, stopping and thinking and considering is an interruption for me. It's an interruption of my flow. Hang on a second. Stopping to think and to consider is an interruption of my flow. So it can potentially hurt my flow. But before achieving the flow state, it was necessary. For example, a ballet dancer, those runners, swimmers, even performers like the singers, the rappers, even a police officer driving 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic, trying to get to whatever the destination, into a shooting or whatnot. He has to enter a flow state to drive that car the way he does through traffic without hitting the car. I mean, they do get into car accidents, right? But it's rare. it's a state of flow, just like the fire truck. It's a state of flow of being connected to the whole, the traffic, the situations, the car, the lights. At that point, the police officer is no longer aware of his person as a person to protect. He's no longer aware of all these cars as being single cars and all these light poles are being single light poles. He is in a state where everything becomes one and he's just flowing through that. I mean, you've seen what they do, right? Just you see him coming and you're thinking he's gonna cut to the left, right? And he surprises you by cutting to the right because you didn't see that opportunity to the right. And you're like, whoa, he's to the right. And the next thing you know, he's all the way over there. He's gone. Without that state of flow, he couldn't have done it. If he had to think his next move, if he had to stop and think his next move every single time, he couldn't have done it. That's flow state. And that's what semen retention does for you. Now, this is more important than even creativity, in a sense, right? Because you can have the creativity, but if you have to stop and think what to create and what to do, you may not still produce, you may not still create. But if you just move from one thing to the next effortlessly, flowing through the spirit, then you may get something done. Right? And so let's talk about losing the ego. So I'm going to define some terms. We have to have working definition whenever we're talking about anything. So the ego, here we go. The ego is an aggregation, a whole lot of ideas, thoughts, philosophies, habits, ways, energies, fears that are put together and solidified as your personality. I see you, boy. I partied a lot. I was just saying to someone this afternoon that I think this is probably the most fun I've had this past New Year, Christmas into the New Year's. It's probably the most fun I have had. I've had a lot of alcohol. I've partied hard. I've slept a lot. I've done a lot of things. But you know, the time is really going to come. We're going to have breaks in between because we have other situations to take care of. Now, remember, the difference between me and other men is, or other creators, is they make money off their videos. So they have to keep going at it. Every single video they put out, by the time they get 1,000 views, you know, they're making good money. I don't make money off my videos. So really, there will be interruptions in my production until, you know, to make money elsewhere or to put my focus elsewhere doing other things. So I have done it, and I think it's going to continue to happen, where I take some time off to focus on generating money elsewhere. I think last year I took about maybe 3 months off, and I worked hard. As those 3 months, I had another project I was working on, making good money. So the time is going to happen until maybe I can create content where I don't use the words semen retention or ejaculation, sex. Once those words are used, I can't make money in the videos. I'm sure you've heard other creators say that. Yeah. And so the ego is a whole bunch of conceptual things put together that show up, or that solidify as your personality. And the ego is strengthened by intellect. Yeah. The ego is strengthened by the intellect, right? The more intellectual a person is, the more egotistical they are, the more about their personality they are, the more they show their personality. And what I have found on semen retention is you lose a lot of the strong part of the ego. So let's say, for example, I tend not to even engage in a lot of discussion about something. So let's say this afternoon I was talking to somebody, and whatever I said, when they started talking back to me, and they let me know that it's because I have this certain way why they do what they do, and instantly I was just like, okay, done. I don't even have a comeback for it, just done. Whereas in the past, I would have a comeback for it, and I would go away thinking about it, ruminating over it. But right now it's like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'm safe. All is well. Life is good. Peace be unto me, right? And so you lose part of the rough, the rough parts of the ego. And until you do so, your experience will always be compartmentalized. It'll feel like a car that's stalling and going, like you start going, then the car stalls, and you start again, then you start again. Essentially, you can't achieve that flow state. You can't have that beautiful, harmonious flow of experiences. And you know why? Because the ego, as we are going to see, attaches itself on a lot of things. Because remember, I just said the ego is an aggregation of ideas, concepts, belief systems, manners, habits, ways, fears, desires, insecurities that solidify. All these things are solidified as your personality. So I have the 7 secrets to true masculine self-mastery is, the number 1 is embrace your pain. And here I'm not referring to the pain of a girl, to physical pain. No, the pain of life. I'm talking about the pain of life. I'm talking about the human condition. The human condition comes with a lot of pain. Just choosing to be alone is a lot of pain. You know that, right? Just even choosing to go to sleep when you need to sleep could be a painful experience, because your mind has FOMO, the fear of missing out. And really, you don't really want to go to sleep. The simple act of, well, it's not so simple. The act of sitting down and getting something done is very painful. Figuring out what your life is going to be about is very painful. Putting in the work to see the results, to achieve something, to purchase a car, get into a new place, whatever it is that you do or you want to do is painful. The ego wants to avoid that pain at all cost. And I'm going to tell you, this fear of pain is responsible for a lot of pain in our lives. I remember I used to tell an ex of mine, you need to stop running from the pain. Your anticipation of pain is creating pain for you. Your anticipation of pain, and therefore you're trying to come up with a plan to avoid the pain, is creating pain for you and the relationship and the people in your life. And so you have to embrace the pain. It's not pleasant, but if you embrace it, it makes life better. It makes that state of flow, that flow state, much better. You have to embrace that pain. And really, when you embrace that pain, you become so strong. It's almost like people can feel that, where if you have embraced the pain of life, I mean, they're not saying that to themselves, but they kind of feel like you have surrendered to the higher power. You have surrendered to a higher calling, to a higher way of living. There we go. Or a higher order of living, as Dr. What's his name? Michael Beckwith would say, a higher order of living. And it's almost makes you come across as invincible. Of course, you're not invincible, but it gives off that energy that you're good where you're at. So number one is embrace your pain. Number two is embrace the drudgery. Life has a lot of drudgery. Getting work done, moving around, driving a car. And you know, one of the reasons that people speed is because they don't want to experience the drudgery of driving the car, the speed limit, and being by themselves, with the thoughts. And so they're constantly trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible without that drudgery, that sense of drudgery. And if anything is going to cause you to go off this path of semen retention, it'll be the sense of drudgery. Because at one point in time on your journey, which I actually have a client that I had a free consultation with months ago, text me this weekend, said, yo, I need to talk to you. Because in fact, we just finished scheduling for tomorrow night. He said, I think I can find his text, right? That's better. Listen to this. He said, hello, sir. My name is blah, blah, blah. I did a Zoom call with you last year about semen retention. I'm currently on a 10-day streak. I feel so good. However, my mind keeps racing with thoughts that try to convince me that it's unnecessary or it's the wrong thing to do. LOL. If it's possible, I'd like to schedule another Zoom meeting with you. Yeah, that's it. If anything is going to get you off this journey, it's going to be that. The sense of drudgery, the mind saying, what's the point? Why are you doing all this? What's the pleasure? Where's the fun? It's painful. It's drudgery. And another part of the drudgery is you just waking up one day feeling like, well, I mean, it makes no sense to live if you're not busting a nut, because what for? Just like this customer says, this client, what's the purpose for that? And that sense of drudgery is going to drive you mad, because it's going to essentially make you feel like you're disconnected from life. You're by yourself. And really, what's the point in all that? You know what the solution is? The solution to that is fall back on your knowledge. Fall back on what you know. Well, what I know is when I keep this essence, it makes me feel good, like life is beautiful. And really, there's nothing wrong happening to my life right now. There's nothing wrong going on in my life. Everything is good. If anything, all is well on semen retention. So you have to fall back on your knowledge to counter that sense of drudgery. The third secret is embrace the silence. And this could be from, anywhere from seeking to hear from someone. You know how we anticipate to hear from someone. Let's say you just meet a girl, right? And you're texting with her or you're dating. You anticipate to hear from that person. Essentially, you're anticipating an interruption of your silence. You're anticipating a text. It doesn't matter. She went to bed or wherever she's at, but in the back of your mind, at any given moment, your silence will be interrupted, and you're looking forward to that. You want that. It's the reason we play TV, music, talk to people. We want to break the silence. Where you can't achieve self-mastery unless you embrace the silence. Because in the silence, God speaks. God speaks when you're quiet. God speaks when you're ready to listen. And in the silence is where God speaks. One of my practices, like for example, just right here in this chair, turn off all the light, put my headphones on, put the Bluetooth on, play music, entheogenic music engineered for that. I'll probably light a cigar, all lights off, kick my feet up, and just recline the seat all the way back, the chair all the way back, and I'm just there. And an hour could go by. Well, I don't do it for less than really 45 minutes. 30 minutes is, just a joke. But most times it's over an hour. In the silence, after a while, put the music off, depending on how my environment is. So even with the entheogenic music or with the 428 hertz or 432 hertz music, there's still silence because I'm not communicating with nobody else. I am open, waiting for God, for the universe, for inspiration. And I'm not anticipating a text from a friend, a woman, or anybody else to interrupt my silence and to get something going. So you have to embrace the silence. Number 4. That's a big one. Now, this one is very big in the sense that it's going to take a long time. I'm good, my brother. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Another secret to self-mastery, masculine self-mastery, is to lose. Well, you can't really lose it, but is really to do away with or to become conscious with desire. Remember, our subtopic is lose the ego, right? And the ego is very big on desire. If anybody's going to get messed up over anything, it's going to be over something they have a desire for. So here's what I wrote in my journal today. Of course, I hope you know that all of my teachings come from my own learning, my own experiment, my own revelations, my own studies, and journal entries, right? So you got to lose the desire to/for the desire to be chosen, the desire to be first. There we go. The desire to be made to feel special, the desire to be number one, the desire to be valued, to be acknowledged, to be selected, to be loved, to be made a priority. I'm telling you, bro, if these are strong in you, you're fucked. Anybody can yank on your chain. Anybody can throw you off. Any situation will throw you off if these are predominant in you. Now, remember, it takes a certain consciousness to come here. On a lower consciousness, that's all you want. You want to be number one. You want to feel special. You want to be made to feel special. You want to be valued. You want to be selected. You want to be acknowledged. It has its place. It's an entry consciousness. And that's why in the manosphere, as it relates to dating and romance, a lot of the insights I can't use no more because they are in the ego. And once you've lost your part of your ego or the rough side of your ego through semen retention, you don't set up the situation so that a woman selects you. You don't do that because that's in the ego. For example, if she texts, well, you don't wait half an hour to text back so that you don't come across as desperate because you're trying to send a message and that's good at a certain level of consciousness. Once you expand past that consciousness, you don't do that. Your text comes in and you're available to text back, you text back. If it's right now, right now. If not, you may hear it, but you're not available to text right away, then you take your time. And you no longer have that noise of the ego controlling the situation and trying to send a message, right? And if you're talking to a woman and she may have other suitors or the guys she's talking to, well, you don't worry about that. You're not worrying about her selecting you, making you first. You're just worrying about your own. My brother, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Coach Ali, we'll talk tomorrow now. I haven't texted you, but I think we should talk tomorrow. Maybe after 8 p.m. We can keep our old schedule after 8 p.m. I do have a call. Yeah, so he is 6 to 7. So either we can do 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 like we've been doing. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that super chat. And so in the lower part of the ego, we are concerned of being chosen, being selected and made number one by the woman. But once we lose that and we ascend to another level, we are more purpose driven. Like me, I'm more purpose driven now with the woman. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what that means. Look, bro, I don't really care if she has other suitors, that other guys are trying to talk to her. She's a woman. These guys are looking for sex. That's fine. I have a purpose for her in my life. Can she fulfill the purpose? Is she fulfilling the purpose? Now, of course, I'm not saying if I know a woman is openly having sex with another guy or cheating, but that's something else. But I'm not concerned about things like that. If she fulfills the purpose that I have decided on for her, I'm good. Because I'm whole in myself. I'm complete in myself. She ain't got to make me feel nothing. But it's the consciousness. You have to arrive here. You have to come here. And also, it's because I can leave easily. I can just easily walk away. And so, In losing desire, you have to lose the desire to be chosen, to be first, to be made to feel special, to be number one, to be valued, to be acknowledged, to be selected, to be loved, to be made feel a priority, to be made a priority, to be serenaded, to be found special, to feel good, to feel loved, to feel wanted, to feel respected, to be accompanied, to not be left alone, to be validated, to be abandoned, to be made to feel, to be made to matter, actually. These things actually create codependency issues. But like I said, it's a higher consciousness that we're talking about here. We're not talking about the regular consciousness of, man, I want him to respect me, or I want her to respect me, where that same desire for the respect is also a snare for you. It's a trap. It's a problem. It'll get you into trouble. You become needy to it. You become codependent upon it. So these are the benefits that I'm reaping at this higher level of semen retention, is shedding the most negative and the roughest part of my ego and entering into more into this oneness and harmonious type of consciousness. Really, yours truly used to be very big on these here. Man, woman gotta respect me, you know. I'm number one. Well, I'm not number one. I'm the one, and blah 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 blah. To a certain extent, you can't escape this. But I've done a great job of, look, man, this is my life. I'm good here. I'm happy. I'm complete. I'm whole. I'm worthy. Here is her purpose in my life. Here is his purpose in my life. So long they're fulfilling that purpose, all is well. I don't care who she is on the phone with when she's not on the phone with me. So long when she's on the phone with me, she's on the phone with me, and she carries out what I want, what I need. She fulfills that purpose. We're good. Because truth of the matter is, life is big. People are going to entertain other people. And that's why the Buddhists talk a lot about losing desire. Because desire is a prison for you. Number 6 on the line, on the list, my bad. Lose your attachment. Yeah. And by attachment here, I'm not talking about being attached to a woman alone. I can remember clearly when I lost some of my strongest attachments. Attachments to how I'm being perceived outside, what I have, what I own, my personality, a certain car, a certain place, a certain knowledge, a certain persona. Oh, ideology. Yeah. Attach myself to a certain philosophy and a certain ideology, religion, and I'm defending that. Those are chains on your soul that so long you have them, anybody can yank on that and pull your soul out of yourself. You know, the attachment to your own opinion, to your own idea of yourself, or even to the idea, your own idea of the world, the way the world should be. And you're so attached to that. And of course, as men, we're going to talk about your attachment to a woman. And I'm going to get very specific. Your attachment to the feminine softness, to the feminine skin. I love a woman's perfect skin. I still do. I still text them, and when I see them, if I touch them, if I kiss them, I'm like, oh, you have perfect skin. I've always gravitated towards the woman with and unblemished skin. The attachment to the feminine love, the attachment to the feminine touch, the attachment to the feminine softness. Hey, Poppy. Oh, baby. How you doing? Why don't you come over and spend some time with me? Oh, I miss you too, baby. Oh, my. You're so handsome, my king. Yeah. Unless you lose the attachment to that, you're fucked. And quite frankly, you can't even enjoy it unless you lose the attachment to it. Where it's done, it's happening, but you're not attached to it, right? Like right now, I can be in a relationship with a woman and being involved with a woman, but I'm not in love with the love. I'm not in love with the relationship. I'm not attached to it all, although I'm fully involved in it. I hope you understand, right? Because I've lost the attachment. The attachment to the feminine comfort. Putting your head on her chest. Getting inside of her in missionary position. Reaching that level of intimacy and comfort. If you don't lose that attachment, you're fucked. Because it will be like having a nose ring with a chain, and she can yank on that shit any given time. And that's what happens out there, right? So let's say Rollo Tomasi talks about AFCs, average frustrated chumps. Where my books at? Right there. My Rational Male books are always present, always nearby, because I like to take my daily red pill dose every single day, whether watching several videos or reading a couple of pages from something red. You have to take your daily red pill dose to stay red pill, to beat the simp out of you every single day. And especially if you're dealing with women. So I must do this shit every single day and several times a day. Keep beating that simp out of me, because I do deal with women. And so if you don't lose your attachments to the feminine in that way, you're fucked. I'm telling you. Because it'll be like attaching a chain to your soul, and she can yank on that at any given moment. I've been there. This is what codependency is. This is what attachment issues are in the attachment theory. This is what karmic relationships are about. There is a soul, there is a chain attached to your soul, and that you have freely put into her hands, because you're so attached to the feminine everything. All she has to do is, to make sure that you're still here, is yank on it, and here you go, feeling pain, pulling forward, and she's like, I got you, you're right there. Consequently, the day that you lose these attachments, she will know, because she will pull on the chain, and she will realize the chain is just coming to her, and there's no sign of you coming after the chain. It has happened to me, and I've seen it happen with women, with other men too. It's the biggest shock for a woman, and she's gonna try to pull the chain. Like, she's gonna keep reeling the chain in, thinking that somehow magically you're gonna appear at the end, but she feels like obviously you're not there. You're no longer attached to the chain, but she's gonna keep pulling, reeling something, imaginary chain. But I'm telling you, bro, we were made by a woman. You are naturally attached to the feminine everything. And that's the best way I can put it. The feminine everything. You are attached to it. You are attached to the feminine voice. I'm telling you. I have this 40-year-old, well, I'm 42, right? That I talk to, jump on the phone. She's like, hi, David King. Oh, how was your day, Poppy? What you doing now? Oh, well, earlier I was thinking about you, and I was like, oh, I wish I could see David King right now. And then you called, coincidentally. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm laying down, and I have a little two-piece on, and yeah, Poppy. Thank God for where I am, because in the past, I would have jumped in my car. Just on that. Little things like that, right? And of course, I talked about her touch, her presence, her scent. And I'm going to hit you with the biggest one, because you're probably not thinking about that. I'm not even going to talk about the vagina, because the vagina is easy. It's easy because we know what happens, right? You get in it, you bust it in it, it makes you feel good. It's easy to be attached to the vagina. It's easy, right? But I'm going to tell you what I have found out in my experience, personally, and working with clients and through my research and studies, most men are not really attached to the vagina. They're really attached to the woman's thighs. Yeah, I know. You just get to the vagina and that's where you do your thing. But I'm going to tell you what, right? I'm going to tell you. Men are more attached to thighs than to asses and vaginas. Especially if you have more missionary sex. The woman's thighs hold tremendous power over you. In missionary position, the thighs are the gatekeepers. You're passing the thighs to go towards her face to put your thing in. And when she raises her legs, her thighs, they come right next to your face right here. And of course, you enjoy looking at them popped wide open and you're doing your thing. Her thighs, just like her arms, and even more so the thighs, are gatekeepers and chains. Okay, let's take it further. If you mostly have sex with a woman doggy style, you probably won't have not much attachment to that woman. I'm going to tell you, if you break up with her, you're going to miss the doggy style. You're going to miss the arch in her back. That's what you're going to miss. You're going to miss all that opening facing you from behind type of thing. You're going to miss grabbing her from her shoulders and her hair, pulling her hair back and hitting that thing so hard, right? That's what you're going to miss. But you can easily replace that with another woman. That necessarily won't create an attachment issue for you. It won't necessarily create It's not. Make it personal. Just make it personal. Make it for you, what it is, right? But it's for somebody. But if you mostly do missionary sex with a woman, your chances of being attached to her are much greater than if you mostly do doggy style with a woman. Look, man, somebody has to talk about this. Somebody has to give the brothers the knowledge. Somebody has to help the brothers liberate themselves. Somebody has to give this knowledge out. Somebody has to be bold enough to release this information. Somebody has to. Because brothers are suffering out there. Brothers are in need, dire need of this information. And so you have to lose your attachments to possessions, state of beings or personality, the way you are perceived by people, and the way, and like I just said, also to the woman, you have to lose those attachments if you are to achieve masculine self-mastery. I have to tell you these days, right? I need to relabel my buttons. That's what happens. I need to relabel them. I've changed my sounds, but just I kept the same old label. I'm gonna tell you what happens these days with people in general, but especially and specifically with women. I'm involved with the woman, whatever is going on between me and her, right in her presence, and after I leave her presence, I go right back being red pilled. It's a, what do they call it? In real time. I'm red pill in real time while dealing with her. While listening to her, I'm also being red pilled. And as soon as I walk away, everything that just happened got wiped out of my mind. No, it didn't get wiped out, but I literally compartmentalize it and say, I vow to remain red pilled. I vow to remain rational. I vow to keep the manosphere or the alpha creed. I vow, no matter whatever just happened between me and her, no matter the beautiful words she just told me, I'm not in love with that. I experience it, it's good, it's beautiful, but I remain detached to it. And that's so beautiful, and it's so powerful. As opposed to in the past, after experiencing a woman's presence, I would walk away with all of that blue shit following me. And I'll be thinking about her and looking forward to more of the same. And, I'm getting bluer and bluer and bluer. But now it's, we do this, pew, red. Or in the midst of the conversation, while she's talking, my mind is saying, red, I'm red. Oh, yeah, I appreciate you too, baby. Yeah, well, thank you for putting all this together. Appreciate it. It was a great time. Red. It's crazy, but it's amazing. It just comes out of me. Red. Text message. Oh, just want to let you know that I miss you. I miss you so much. Can't wait to see you. Oh, well, thank you. I miss you too. Red. Just had the mind-blowing sex, and she's like, oh my God, my thing is throbbing. My thing is, I'm having spasm there. Like, oh, good. You're like, whoa, you a beast. I'm like, yeah, I am. Red. In my mind, like red. And so somebody has to share that with you. Somebody has to help you remain rational. Somebody has to help you remain red-pilled. Somebody has to help you keep beating the simp out of you, because we all have the simp to a certain degree. Like Dr. BOA says, we are just becoming the best alpha version of ourselves individually. So we have to make that effort every single day. So I've given you this 6 secrets of true masculine self-mastery so far. Number 1, embrace the pain, your pain. Number 2, embrace drudgery. Number 3, embrace the silence. Number 4, lose the ego. Number 5, lose desire. Number 6, lose attachments. Number 7, I do have a bonus, but let's get to number 7. Embrace your singlehood. Now, singleness, I'm not talking about the state of being single. That means the state of not dating a woman. No. Singlehood. Your being single. The being that you are. You are a single being. You were born single. You live this life single. And trust you, me, you already know where I'm going. You're going to leave this life and die single. So I'm talking about singlehood, the state of being a single entity. Embrace that. Embrace you. Embrace the entity that makes you you. Embrace your singlehood. And so the way that shows up in practical life is no matter who you're dealing with, no matter the situation, no matter whether it's a romantic relationship or friendship, you remember that you are a single entity. And so you don't get too far entangling yourself with people. You don't get too far with your demands. You don't get too far in your expectations of them towards you. You remember that you're single. You remember that the decisions that truly matter about life is your decisions about yourself, because you are a single entity. And so when it's time to walk away from a party, an event, you remember that you are a single entity and you're making a decision to go home early for whatever reason. You embrace your singlehood, and there's a lot of power in that. That can help somebody who tend to always want to be around people and seek for people's validation type of thing, right? And I'm not talking about female validation. I'm talking about some sort of friend validation. Want to hear what your friends think, what you should do. And if it's good for them, then it must be good for you too, type of thing. But you are a single entity. Embrace your singlehood. It's so beautiful when you do, because suddenly people can no longer chain you. Suddenly people can no longer trick you. They think they're tricking you, but you're single in your mind. Like, you know, you're over there, I'm over here. Like, we're good. It's easier for you to release your hands off whatever and choose this single entity here. And you also know from this embrace of your singlehood that friends come and go, colleagues come and go, associates come and go, romantic partners come and go. But you're like a tree. You're single and you remain right here. Unless you become conscious of these things, you can't capitalize off of them. You can't benefit from them. You can't. You have to awaken to the fact that you are a single entity. And so let's take it to where you're probably already thinking I'm going. Even in that romantic relationship, you are a single entity. In fact, the best relationships have this component to themselves where the two partners are very single in the relationship. And that's one of the reasons it works, for those relationships that do work, where the partners are single. They are very aware of their singlehood in the relationship. And how that shows in practical reality is, if I need time to do my thing, she knows I'm a single entity, so she gives me the time. If she needs time to do something, I know she's a single entity. I give her time. Instead of the codependent shit that happens in the other kind of relationship where well, I just want to spend time with you. I just want to be with you. You never have time for me, and I want you to sleep in my arms, right? Type of thing. So let's say, man, I like to sleep on my side. Yeah, I mean, if I sleep with a woman, every once in a while we might cuddle, and I'm not gonna lie, I want us to touch, skin to touch, but after a while, I move away. Just like my last relationship, that lady for years sleeps on one side, the edge of the bed, and that's where she stays. And we used to have problems because I used to be like, well, can we just cuddle and come near? But we had a conversation when we grew that when we grew up in the relationship, it became, well, that's her singlehood shit. And guess what? I'm like that too. And so we lay down separately, and then we might go move towards each other and touch and spend some time, but then we still go our separate ways for that moment. If you embrace your singlehood, you won't have that problem of becoming dependent or of having a woman become dependent upon you, where you're always spending time together. You're always seeking to bring somebody into your bosom, into your space, because you understand they are a single entity themselves. They need space and time to be their single self, and you do the same. And really, right here, we can also talk about life purpose. And because of that, you have your life purpose, then you can spend time building on your life purpose as a single entity. It's not easy, but it can be done. So if I can give you a bonus, it would be embrace the space. You know who says that a lot? Develop attraction. Chris Carmel. Attraction grows in space. Embrace the space, which is true. Attraction grows in space. That is true. But for our purpose here, embrace the space is, man, embrace the space between you and the world. Embrace your own space. Be where you are for yourself, by yourself, and embrace the space between you and other people. Whether your mom is on the other side of the country, father, siblings, man, don't be so, hey, I'm saying this respectfully now. Don't be so distraught on the fact that everybody's so far away from you and you want to keep closing the gap type of thing. And that's what happens in relationships too, right? As soon as the woman wants to pull away, you want to close the gap. Embrace the space. Great things happen in the space. People get to realize your value in the space. I'm going to tell you that's the first thing that happens in space. When you embrace the space, people get to realize your true value. And you get to realize your true value also. So embrace the space of your life. And so let's recap. 7 secrets to true masculine self-mastery. Embrace the pain, your pain, the pain of life and your pain. Embrace drudgery. Embrace the silence. Lose the ego. Lose desire. Lose attachments. Number 7, embrace singlehood. Your state of being single, not without a woman, but as a single entity, in the fact that you were born by yourself and you're gonna die by yourself, and you're still living this life by yourself. You have no choice but to be single in this life. You really have no choice. Even twins are still single because they were still born one after the other. And they still live this life single, and they're gonna die single. They were just in the same womb. That's all really twins mean. They were just in the same womb, were born on the same day, around the same time, but they're single as me and you. And lastly, as a bonus, number 8, embrace this space. Send me some questions, guys. Let's interact a little bit. I know it's past 12, but it's 6 a.m. somewhere, right? Any questions, guys? Any comments? Anything significant? It's 2021. Let's go way up. If you're just starting this journey, I encourage you to stay on it. If you've been on it, I encourage you to continue. You know, it's the right journey for you. It's the right path. Many great things are waiting for you. Beautiful things are waiting for you on this journey. Men's Superpower is going to be a bit different in 2021. We'll incorporate a lot of new thoughts, ideas, ways of production, but it'll be to better serve the manosphere. Of course, still with semen retention as being the foundation for it all. No FAP and semen retention as the foundation of it all. But it won't just be all I talk about is anything semen related. It'll be life for men, but with semen retention as the foundation, with sexual discipline as the foundation. So I'm looking forward to that myself. If you guys have no comments, questions, I think this is probably going to be my third shortest live because I usually go all the way to 3 hours. All right, so let's play my song. If you've been on this live with me, you know I have a theme song that I like to play that I call Semen Retention Song. And if you listen to the words, you're gonna see why I like this song as a theme song. In fact, I have licensed this song so I could play it on my live streams. Listen to the words. These are the descriptions, really, of how a guy on semen retention lives every single day, walks around, how he feels and stuff like that. So listen to it.
All eyes on the way I vibe when I walk into the room. Wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes. I got the attention, I'm on a mission. No sweat in the way I step, I got a fresh new attitude. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. New look, got the ladies shook. New watch saying it's my time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with the vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now.
I feel the same way thanks to the internet. I have to be honest with you. I've actually said that to myself before, and I'm still grateful to the internet. I think I've gotten more information for free on the internet that has created real growth in me than I have paid for. This is actually a true conscious statement that a person can make thanks to the internet. I literally believe that. It lets me know where you are. It lets me know what consciousness you have. Because I've heard people say it, but I myself have considered like, dang, I'm freaking grateful to the internet. Like, yeah. So it's good to have you. Thank you guys for stopping by. First edition of 2021. Let's go higher. Stay on the journey. It's all yours. Life is yours. Remember, you're on the right journey. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna go and head out. Comments, questions, let's do it. Or else we can have an early, whatever, I'll just go to do more work. Remember, you're on the right journey. You're on the journey of self-love, the journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on that journey. Until next time, you are on the right path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery, the journey of self-love, the journey of self-empowerment. Stay on this journey.